Hi, my name is Cindy Kruger, and I'm the Product Manager for the accounting side of LegalSuite. Today's webinar is about VAT and will take approximately 20 minutes. We'll be going through VAT, what it is, and how it works in LegalSuite. We also have a help document that's available on the LegalSuite website under the Knowledge Base tab that you can view or print on VAT in LegalSuite. Today, we'll be looking at what is VAT, the VAT analysis, the VAT summary screen and how useful it is, the VAT 201 form that gets generated from LegalSuite, VAT payments that are made to the receiver of revenue, and creditor disbursement. Firstly, what is VAT? Well, VAT stands for Value Added Tax. And VAT is a tax that's levied on the difference between the cost of materials and the selling price of a commodity or service. So basically, it's your output VAT less your input VAT that's due to the receiver of revenue. The receiver of revenue requires that you separate your output VAT from your input VAT. Output VAT, this is VAT that you charge your clients, so income transactions. And input VAT, this is VAT that you're claiming back from the invoices you've received from your creditors. How do you access the VAT summary screen in LegalSuite? On the top toolbar, you'll click on the Business Ledger icon, and the Business Ledger screen will open for you. In the Business Ledger screen, you click on the fourth icon. This is your SARS icon, and the VAT summary screen will open for you. This VAT summary screen is very useful, and I'll be going through what you can do on this VAT summary screen. One of the most important parts of the VAT summary screen is it shows you how much you owe the receiver of revenue, so the VAT due amount. This amount is calculated from the transactions that you've posted in LegalSuite. So every VATable transaction that you post in the system, the transaction will go against the VAT control account, and the VAT summary screen will use these transactions to calculate how much is your output VAT, how much is your input VAT, and what is due to the receiver of revenue. The VAT summary screen is also very useful for your auditors. They'll be able to view a breakdown of the transactions that make up your output and input VAT amounts. So if they come in for period 5 and 6 last year, they want to be able to see what were your output and input VAT amounts and how they were made up. They can do this through the VAT summary screen. From the VAT summary screen, you can also print out the VAT 201 form that you can use to fill in SARS's form. You can capture the payment to SARS, and you can print VAT reports from this VAT summary screen. On the VAT summary screen, we have two options you can use to calculate your VAT. The first option is the As-At option. This is also the recommended option. So as at LegalSuite, we recommend that you use this option. The As-At option will bring into account all transactions that you've posted on your system from inception. So if you select this option, it will total the VAT up to the period you specify, and then subtract all VAT payments that have been made to the receiver. So if there's any out-of-period transactions that you've posted, everything will be included every time you calculate your VAT. So if, for example, period 1 and 2, you owed the receiver the figures for your output was 10,000 Rand and input was 8,000 Rand, and you owed the receiver 2,000 Rand. If your payment was filled in correctly, it will then show that there's no outstanding VAT. So the As-At is our recommended option. The other option we have is Range. This option will only display the VAT due for the periods that you specified in your From and To fields. So if you're on period 6 and you're paying VAT for period 4 and 5, if you're only selecting the range, it will then only look at the transactions in period 4 and period 5. And any transactions that you've posted out of period will not be taken into account. In this example, I'm going to use the As-At recommended option, and I have selected the system to show me everything as at period 5. I then click on the display button, and the summarized transaction for the option that I selected has been displayed. And you'll see that these transactions are broken down into output and input transactions. And you can see they've further been broken down where it's showing you output other, zero rated, exempt, as well as input other and capital. Just a bit of background, output VAT is determined from income transactions such as fees and disbursements, as well as if you charge rental income or any form of income. This is what makes up the output VAT. And input VAT is determined from disbursements as well as normal operating expenditure in your firm. So creditors' invoices, and if you have a rent expense or stationery, all of that sort of transactions are input VAT. And the screen now shows me an amount that's due by me to the receiver of revenue. And how this figure is made up is it's taken your output VAT less your input VAT has given me the amount due to SARS. So it said to the amount due to SARS is R3,582.32. Printing the VAT 201 form. The VAT 201 form shows the figures that you'll use to complete the SARS 201 form or on SARS e-filing. It's always important to keep a hard copy of this VAT 201 form for reference purposes, so you can see what your VAT figures were when you submitted your return. You could post transactions out of period and your figures may change. We do have various reports on the accounting side that will show you the transactions that were posted out of period, but it's just safer to keep a hard copy so you know as at the day you submitted your return what were your figures. How to access the VAT 201 form. On the VAT Summary screen, click on the SARS icon, and the VAT 201 form will automatically be printed into LegalSuite's built-in report writer. You'll also see in the bottom left-hand corner, it states that this form was printed on the 25th of July at 12:43. So on the SARS 201 form, it does put the date and the time that this report was printed. Very important. Please note that this form must not be sent to the receiver of revenue. This form is only a guideline that you can use to fill in SARS 201 form or on the SARS e-filing website. SARS will not accept this as a 201 form. It's just a guideline that you can use. Capturing the VAT payment. VAT payments are usually made every 2 months to the receiver of revenue. Some firms do pay on a monthly basis, but the norm is that every 2 months we pay the receiver. On the VAT Summary screen, there is a payment button. We recommend that you use this because there's specific VAT details that have to be filled in when posting to the VAT control account. If you use the VAT Payment button on the VAT Summary screen, this information will be pre-filled for you when you create a transaction. If you go and capture the payment under the Batcher screen, then the information will need to be manually filled in by you. How to access the payment. So once you have calculated your VAT, it shows how much is due by you. You click on the payment icon on your VAT Summary screen, and the business payment window will open. This screen, you'll see everything has been filled in. The VAT control account, the description, the amount that's due to the receiver, from which bank account it's going. If you capture this payment manually in the Batcher screen, you're going to have to manually select all this information. But through the VAT Summary screen, everything is pre-filled. And the most important is this VAT option here above the check button or OK button. This screen has the breakdown. So what was your output VAT and what is your input VAT and how much is due. You cannot post to the VAT control account without filling in this information. And using the payment option through the VAT Summary screen, this information is pre-filled for you. You'll see that the VAT details the total output, the total input is filled in, and it equals the total that's due to the receiver of revenue. Once you're happy that everything is filled in correctly, you can then click on the OK button. And you'll see that the payment has been added to your batcher screen for you, so it sits there as an unposted transaction. You can then print it or check it and then post it through so that the transaction will then appear in your VAT control account. Creditor disbursements. Disbursements that are made to creditors, for example, messengers, agents, sheriffs, by an attorney are classed as both output and input VAT. The invoices that are received from these creditors are normally made out to the attorney and not to your client. For example, they will send the invoice because they often do work on behalf of many clients. So they'll send the invoice to the attorney, for example, ACME attorneys, and you as the attorney are entitled to the input VAT. Therefore, when you receive an invoice from your creditor, you have two options. You must either, one, capture the disbursement and include the VAT, or you can forward the invoice directly to the client so they can claim the input VAT. But please note, if you forward the invoices to the client using option 2, you will not be able to claim the input VAT. When VAT was introduced with disbursements, it created a huge debate, and software vendors like LegalSuite were given a choice of either charging the client's VAT output and claiming the appropriate VAT input, or not charging VAT on disbursement and forwarding the disbursement invoices to the client. Due to the large volumes of disbursements that attorneys receive, LegalSuite decided that we'll take the first option, as it will simplify our clients to operate and to implement. An example of a creditor disbursement. The sheriff serves a summon on one of your clients and sends you a valid tax invoice that's made out to you, the attorney. You'll then capture this as a creditor disbursement. You will debit the matter that this disbursement is for, and you'll credit the creditor. The creditor is added in your creditor's ledger, and you'll click on OK. Once you've posted the disbursement batch, you'll then see that the matter has been debited with the full amount including VAT, and the VAT control account is also debited with the input VAT amount. The opposite entry of this transaction is that the creditor has been credited for the full amount including VAT, and the VAT control account is credited with the output VAT amount. VAT reports. When balancing your VAT, the creditor disbursement causes the discrepancy. The reason for this is that when you post the entry, it goes against the creditor and not a nominal account in your business ledger. So when it comes to balancing VAT, you will have your income statement of 10,000 Rand, but your output VAT will state 12,000 Rand. This is because of the creditor disbursements. So what LegalSuite did is we added a disbursement recovery account. It's generally an expense account. And this gets debited and credited automatically when you post a creditor disbursement. This disbursement recovery account should always have a zero balance. Because it's an automatically posted entry from LegalSuite in the background and it gets debited and credited, the balance should be zero. If there is ever a balance, it's generally because a user has posted a transaction directly to the disbursement recovery account. What you'll then need to do is just print out and do a reconciliation and to see why there is a balance on this account. There are detailed VAT reports that can be printed that will show you how the totals are obtained, so to help you balance your VAT. So just to show you, when a creditor disbursement batch is posted, the same disbursement batch we looked at earlier, you'll see that the disbursement recovery account is debited and credited automatically. How to access your VAT reports. Click on the printer icon on your top toolbar. You can do it through the VAT Summary Screen. There is a Reports tab, but anywhere in LegalSuite you'll see this printer icon. This will open the Reports screen. There are various reports that can be used on the accounting side. You can see all the categories on the left-hand side, but today we're going to be looking at the VAT category. So if you click on the VAT category, the VAT reports that we have in the system are then displayed for you. You can see all the various VAT reports that are there, even the second to last one, which is the VAT transactions out of period. The most used report and the most helpful report when it comes to balancing your VAT is the ledger account versus VAT type report. Now, the VAT return must always agree to this ledger account versus VAT type report. What this report will do is it will print out all your ledger accounts and what type of VAT went to those ledger accounts. So once you've highlighted the report, you then click on the print icon, or you can double click on the report, and the filter screen for this report will come up. What's important here is that you select which period you're looking for. I'm tying it back to my as at recommended period 5. That's everything from inception up to period 5. So I've selected from blank to period 5, which is the end of July 2013. And I've made my destination an Excel spreadsheet. All of LegalSuite's reports go into Excel. So you're able to save these to your hard drive, put it in the LegalSuite folder, add it to your backup if you want to. Also very important when it comes to financial year end that you save those reports so everything can go into Excel. You then click on the OK button, and the report will then print directly into Excel for you. You'll see on this report it's got a list of your ledger accounts in the first column, and running across the columns are the different types of VAT and what amounts went to those ledger accounts. Just to show you how to balance the VAT with that report. On my VAT summary screen, I've done as at recommended up to period 5, and I've clicked on display, so it's showing me the transactions. And if I look at my report, it's now got all my ledger accounts with the different types of VAT. I take the output amount that's on my VAT summary screen, and this must equal the output amount on this ledger account versus that type report. And you can see it does balance. And the reason that this balances is because of the disbursement recovery account that had 1,830 Rand posted to it, which was a creditor disbursement. If we didn't have this disbursement recovery account, then this 1,830 Rand would not appear and our report would not balance to our VAT summary screen. So you can see now that it is here, it's all in balance. You can give this report to your auditor and they'll then be happy to see how the VAT output amount is made up. Just to sum up, today we've looked at how to access the VAT analysis, the VAT summary screen, how useful it is, how much you can do within the screen, the VAT 201 form, how you can print it and use it as a guideline, VAT payments, how they are captured directly through the VAT summary screen with the information that's pre-filled, creditor disbursements, what they are and how the VAT works in the background, and also balancing your VAT and how what reports to print to give to your auditors. Thank you so much for listening to our webinar today. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me at cindy@legalsuite.co.za.